I'm going to talk about observability and with regard, this is all picking me up, with regard to real-time apps and just basically building Node apps in general. When I first shared this idea of talking about observability with some friends, they were like, really? It's a terrible concept. But I think at least Enterprise Substack would approve. It's kind of buzzword compliant, and what I really want to get into is understanding what's going on with your Node app when it's running. I know there's a good split of front-end developers here, and you might not be building your apps today with Node, but we're definitely seeing a progression of people, putting Node behind their rich clients. So I hope you'll find this useful and maybe be able to come back to this when you have Node in production. So I'm D. Shaw. I work for a company called Voxer. We have a voice app that runs on smartphones that enables you to use voice on your phone. It's pretty cool. I'm co-founding partner of the Node firm, and we created the Node firm to try to help companies and startups understand Node and be successful with it. And it's a different animal, so we're there to help people work with that. And you might hear me umming every once in a while on Node Up. We have a Node podcast, and we talk about kangaroos, bowler hats, and other inanities. And every once in a while, we talk about Node too. So observability is this thing where it is, it's a definition, but that's not really. That's cool. That's a great concept, but I'm going to abuse the term a little bit. If you're really pedantic, I'm probably going to outstep the boundaries of what that definition was. But yeah. So in building real-time apps, one of the first priorities for me is addressing scale. But as over the past few years, I've built more and more real-time apps. It's become obvious to me that the concept of observability, the ability to understand what's going on with your app in production and under load, under stress, under scale, is a real priority. So and it's not always obvious. So sometimes things get out of control. And you want to be able to know what's going on, because when things go wrong, sometimes they really, really go wrong. So some of the things that we have to be able to work with are here. I'm not going to read through this list, but I'm going to go into some of these concepts. With our real-time app, logging is your friend. Having log data is your friend. And strangely, in some areas of the Node community, people have gotten afraid of putting too much logging into their app. And I think this is a ridiculous premature optimization. Having a rich set of logs where you know what's going on in your app, and this is a strange thing. Even the pace of logging, if you're connecting to your server and you can just get an idea of what the active flow of your application is and what its state is. We were experiencing problems with Node's crypto module recently. We at Voxer were one of the last bastions of hope for running Node at a large scale and doing the SSL in Node. and we, doubled our number of persistent connections through an Android release, and our event loop basically stopped and went onto the server and looked at, basically tailed the logs, and you'd see the server just kind of peace out for a little bit, and then it'd come back as it ground through that crypto. And it was brutal, but it was a really good way of seeing that live. You can go too far with logging. Be careful with some of the, if you have really, really huge objects, the serialization is going to, cause issue. And like I said, with the ability to go in and watch and digest your log data, getting rid of useless or meaningless log lines, keep that stuff out. Like be effective with your logging. Don't just log for logging's sake. And think of it as the useless comments in code. You can have that in logging too. Get rid of that stuff. Then with your logs as you grow, and I hope your production apps have more than one process out there. You're going to have twos, tens, hundreds, thousands, geoscale servers, and you want to come up with a mechanism early on to be able to aggregate that, be able to look at a cross-section of your logging. We at Voxer ended up going with Splunk. It's very enterprisey, but it does a great job. There's Winston from Node.js, and I know some people who really enjoy getting in and writing some Perl across a bunch of different log files. So there are different ways to slice it, and you don't have to go to hardcore expensive enterprise solutions. So once you have the baseline in your app, then an important next consideration is to expose to the world, to you, the state of your app. A few things that I've found in exposing a health or status endpoint are memory, PID, the process ID. That's really useful if you have a process that is thrashing, and you can basically have some technology that you're using to watch that, and if you see that you're potentially going. We use SMF on SmartOS, and SmartOS can get itself into trouble if it's restarting a process too fast. So you'll actually see increased processor load if you're getting too many restarts. Uptime I've always included, but it's actually not that useful. It's a fun little thing. The PID is way more compelling. With the server having the number of connections that are on, if you close a server and you're waiting for it to clean up the existing thing, having access to this endpoint that you're going to be able to go in and see, oh, okay, you're good now, and we can restart the process. And then on Solaris we have this module called proc, which exposes some of the proc file system, and we can get CPU, microtime, and some really cool detailed stuff that are exposed there. Unfortunately, that's currently just SmartOS. So this is what a health endpoint could look like. It's really simple, but when you have that in place in your production system, you can do things like go and curl all your services and all your servers, and take that and aggregate that, or other systems that we're about to see can use that data to bubble up that information. One thing that I don't go into production without is a REPL. I don't think I'm going to have time to do a demo, but if I do, it's a really quick demo. And having a live view into your process and being able to go determine system state. If you're in this situation where the actual the guy driving the boat is thrown out, that's nuts. So if shit's gone really bad, a lot of time you want to go see what's happening. Rather than, you can just restart it, but you want to be able to go in and determine what's happening in your system so you can go fix it. And if you haven't exited with an exception, being able to go in and determine the state is crucial. I have a little module that takes this boilerplate that I have in all my production systems and does a little bit more niceness around it. There was a change between Node 6 and Node 8 in how the REPL server is configured. So Replify, it's super simple. You now have absolutely no excuse for not having a REPL in your production code. It is that simple. You just expose your primary app context, and it has some other functionality beyond that. But most of the time, that's all you end up doing, and you have some core context for your application. You give it a name so you can refer to it, and you expose that and are able to jump into the server. So with your your status endpoints, you can expose that to monitoring service. We use all of these. Reconnoiter is actually used by Circonus. So this is kind of opsy, but it's super useful. Node.js is a pain in a dog and ancient, but it's actually helpful. When you have hundreds of servers and you need to make sure you get some sleep at night, having that awareness there. Circonus enables us to go and take those endpoints, and we pull that data in and have a history of all our memory footprint of all these data points, and basically again get a sense of that pace. Peak and off peak, and if some value is significantly off the historic thing, we know that something's wrong, and we jump on the REPL or something like that. Then what I was hoping to share today, unfortunately, is not quite ready. We have an extensive set of metrics at Voxer, and we're going to be open sourcing it soon. Right now, Etsy's StatsD is very popular and enables you to start building metrics in your system and have that view into we have metrics on latency between systems, latency of our requests to React, and we can basically see if React's getting slow or bogged down, or there's an issue with communication to a particular process, and so having these metrics in place are really essential for us. The Summer of Node interns worked on this summer, and so here are my guys. David, Sean, Kit, and DJ. They are awesome, and they put together this package. We'll probably be open sourcing that in about a month or so. Hopefully, I'm gonna be able to share that at Realtime Conf. But it really makes our life sane. Being able to see what's going on is a fantastic thing. So, last but not least, dtrace has been a fantastic thing for us. We moved to Joint and SmartOS to have access to dtrace. It's coming now to Linux, and it's going to come full circle. It changes the way you interact with your system. One anecdote with dtrace is, we had a issue with our system that was causing slow disk, and it turned out to be a RAID controller, a hardware RAID controller that was failing, and we were able to not me, but Brian, Brendan, were able to look at the system and determine that latency, those issues that we were having were coming from that piece of hardware, and just like go down the stack all the way down to that level, and that's really changed the way we interact with our system, and we can determine whether it's our software or whether it's the system around us. So that's my show. Hope that was helpful, and hope you find some of that stuff useful.